Hi there, Saham. Do hope you're well and keeping. Nice to hear from you. And I do hope you're keeping well throughout this chaotic period in time. So I'm actually based now in the UK. I know we spoke before and delivered some images for you. So yes, when I last spoke, I was actually in the Bali time zone. So if you did want to connect and wondered why the times were a little bit different, that is the reason why. So what I'm going to do is just run through a listing analysis on the current listing, and I saw the information that you also sent through as well. So actually, quite rightly point out, first thing that jumps out, is that positive number of ratings. It's really, really strong, suggesting a really good sales history. So any percentages within that listing that we can find, it's going to have a really positive effect. So I think the images, I know we worked with you in the past and sort of looking through some of the different variations, I think overall the images look pretty good. Where I think my focus would lie on this particular listing is potentially within these bullet points. And obviously I don't have the back end sort of keyword research for this. But given the success, certainly any changes I'd make to the copywriting, I would do very slowly. But yes, I think the first thing I would go over or address would be some of these bullet highlights. So when creating any, in fact, delivering any service for our clients, we do quite a sort of extensive amount of research into your reviews, into your competitors' reviews, and their listings too, as well as yours. So, and really the idea behind that is to highlight or to bring out a list of benefits and features which we feel, through that process, that is the benefits and features that hold that, most important converting asset. And then, ultimately listing optimization is just about highlighting those benefits and features in the most consumable fashion. So, I think some of these, what you actually have here is, or the way in which we approach this section here is all about, as I say, really benefit and feature-led statements. And so I think, a lot of these are pretty much spot on. But I'm looking for, this is a strong listing, so I'm looking for, tiny percentages here. And I think on average, we suggest between 150 to 170 keywords, characters per bullet. And that's something we've optimized and tested over the years, and it's sort of widely known as that, optimal range. Now, that is approximately this length, I would say. So, and I guess the idea behind that is, about that sort of consumable information intake that I was talking about. And so, really I think potentially ones like this are a little bit too long and potentially could be reduced a little bit. And the format in which we really go with is benefit feature-led statements. So, from that sort of research that we do, we would look for the top 5 in order of importance and then list them out. And I think, for example, this one is the best. So benefit and feature-led. So this is a clear benefit to the glove, given that it is the key feature or the main function of it. High-grade heat resistance. Okay, perfect. That's a good benefit-led statement. And then you go on to say sort of why and how and why that is a good thing. And indoor and outdoor use, again, I think really sort of key piece of information to point out. But then I guess the point I would make would be, this one here is very similar to that one there, in that it's highlighting the same thing. You only have 5. So, types of features, that you might want to go through. If I sort of look at, even just bringing up sort of an example here, even sort of running through some of these things here, comfortable and supportive, versatile and protective, these types of benefits and features here, that's the type of information we'd look to get across here. So it's really about identifying what those key things you want to highlight. And I think you go through, better materials, multi-purpose cooking, firefighter material used. That's the type of thing that I would have here. So I think you've got two here which essentially say the same thing. Just from the title point of view, and then indoor and outdoor use. Potentially that is a key thing to feature, but I would say probably a bit too much text there. Guarantee, again, a bit too much text there, but we do sometimes put guarantee in our listings that we deliver. So that is potentially a good one there. Just one thing to keep in mind, and potentially have, but I would have a sort of fully optimized HTML description behind your A+ content, as that is still going to get keyword indexed. So if you don't have it there, I would certainly look to include it. Okay, so then I scroll down to the piece which I think holds the most benefit, and that is the A+ content. And so what I would suggest here, so the reason I see this as the biggest opportunity within this listing is, on average, so A+ content is a hugely effective conversion tool, and on average we see between sort of 5 to 10% uplift in conversion when we introduce it. When clients introduce our A+ content, on a listing. Now, you obviously do already have some A+ content. So any percentage points that we can gain, would be, hugely beneficial given your current, performance on this listing. Obviously the higher the performance, any percentages that we can gain is going to be of huge benefit. So one thing to point out that we can do within, the A+ content. So one thing, so as an overall, I think, with the existing A+ content, although I think some of these points here are the benefit and feature-led statements that we're after, there is too much text. Too much text. I think even on here, there's too much text. Once again, sort of dropping back, I think ultimately nobody comes onto a listing to read a lot of text, and no one's going to read all of it. So, when you're looking at a sort of a product at this particular price point, I want to see, we want this to be very, well displayed and very consumable information, so that someone comes on with those questions they want answered, and it gets answered really quickly, through the image set and then through the A+ content predominantly. So I think this is the piece that could have a sort of huge development on it. So if I jump over to some of our examples, so if we bring up this one here, yes, it's going to come load quite small. So you'll see here, there's a lot more. Well, one thing that A+ content allows is that that allows the freedom to get very creative with the graphics. So this is our sort of typical format here, and these sort of things here allow some benefits and features to be led there. A bit more about the brand, and all of this can sort of help to further enhance your brand. And then each individual image as well, we look to add sort of little graphics on it, highlighting certain benefits and features of that product within. And as I say, there's a lot less text and a lot more sort of visual aid there, so that information becomes very consumable to the buyer. So that would be my key takeaway here. We have already created content for you, the photo set for you, and also I can see that you do have quite a number of photos for all your variations, and so this is actually something that is not too with regard to sort of all the variations. this is actually something which, one A+ content will be able to feature all those variations. So, unlike the photos, we have to sort of adapt them all. This is something quite easy to introduce, for all variations. And in fact, within there, you can talk through the variations as well. But all of them, essentially, have the same feature and benefit. So that's something we can talk through there. Given we have already created the images for you, we are able to create the A+ content for our cheaper package. So if I bring these up, we have two A+ packages. So full A+ is if we were to take a photo shoot. But given we've already had a photo shoot in the past, we can use images that we've used. We can use images that you have already that you would like to send us, to create that A+ content. And so for $397, you would be delivered something very similar to those portfolios that I brought up there. And as I say, I believe that that's the best sort of opportunity within this listing right now. I think some work on the bullets, and if you would like us to do the sort of our keyword research process, which I will add some sort of further details on, and rewrite a listing for this, that's something we can do, and potentially that research is going to help drive that side of things forward. But if I look at the key opportunity, that is for sure the A+ content, and sort of just looking to bring that to life through those graphics, minimizing the text and bringing out some of those key features and benefits. So yeah, that would be my overriding sort of advice on this listing. I hope there's I hope some value from this, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'll round up some of this information in the email that you have in front of you now. And yeah, please do let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hello Sahan, Elaine Drannan here. I'm an ASM mentor, and I'm going to review your product listing for you. So let's begin with the stats that you provided us with in your screenshot. Your number of sessions is over 17,000, which is very good. But obviously more sessions will result in more sales, especially if you can improve your current conversion rate of 15.6%. I would recommend testing different primary images to see if that would encourage shoppers to click through to your listing. You could also go back to your keyword research and try and find some keywords that your competitors have not thought to rank for, or maybe find some that your competitors are ranking for that you aren't. If your profit margin allows for it, you could test reducing your price a little, because your price is a bit on the high side compared to your competitors, I noticed. For your title then, assuming that you've done adequate keyword research and that your primary keyword is heat resistant barbecue gloves, you might want to move that to the very beginning of your title and move the word extreme elsewhere. I also recommend that you move the brand name to the end of the title or remove it altogether. I know it sometimes gets added automatically, but I had success when I asked seller support to help me with removing it, so you might want to try that. Right, for your bullet points then, I see that you are including keywords, which is great. Each bullet should begin with the benefits, so specifically how the product makes your customer's life easier or better. For example, at the beginning of one of your bullets, you could have flexible, so you don't drop food or tools. Pick your product's 5 most important benefits and capitalize a different one of these at the start of each bullet. You can also mention other related benefits and features within the bullet too. And I'd recommend that in your first bullet point, you have your main product differentiator, so something specific about your grill gloves that are different or superior to the majority of your competitors' products. Right, for your images then, your images are good. Some of them need to be square. I noticed they're rectangle, which means you're not taking up the full space, and they would give you a bit more bang for your buck if they were square. And you could have an image that concentrates on dexterity, so zooming up on holding something fiddly just to show that you can still do that while you're wearing the gloves. You could also have a photo of a couple enjoying a meal, just to strengthen that benefit that you mentioned in the bullet points. Okay, so for your product description then, if we just zoom down here, you have an enhanced brand content description. You have it nicely formatted and set out. It looks well. Okay, some of those images could be just brightened up a little bit, I think, but they're not bad at all. I recommend that you personalize your brand story just a little so that it resonates with your target market. Okay, so I hope you found something in that is helpful to you, Sahan. I think we've probably met, unless I'm thinking of a different Sahan Assad. So hello if you're the Sahan that I have met, and all the best to you. Okay, bye-bye.
So from what I've heard from Jamie, you are interested in having our team take over PPC. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. So I think because you're interested in that, I wanted to start off with PPC, and then we can answer any questions you have, anything like that. And then I will then hand it over to Chantel, and she is going to be chatting with you just about the listing and promotional opportunities, things like that. But I wanted to kick it off with PPC because I know that was something that you were the most interested in. And then, I mean, as I'm talking through this, feel free to stop me and say, hey, I have a question about that, anything like that. I'm quite the rambler, so feel free to shut it down and just let me know, okay?
Good to me.
Awesome. So, to kick us off, why don't you go ahead and tell me just a little bit about what your PPC goals are?
Well, my PPC goal is obviously to generate more sales, rank for more keywords to get more sales for that. Overall, for more brand awareness, and get the cost down as well, while still have more profitability.
Right. Awesome.
And also from that, I want to see, for example, what potential brand I maybe I can expand to, and what product people are searching. So possibility to expanding the brand. So things like that.
Awesome. That's really helpful. And then, so I'm seeing your ad spend for the month of December was around it was about 13,000, a little over, almost 13,500. Is that where you want to be, or where do you like to see your ad spend?
Yeah, I want to be above spending 10,000.
Okay.
That's the aim. So I mean, I'm just trying to spend as much as I can, as long as as long as it's not a loss.
Right.
Worst case, break even. I'm all in for spending as long as there's not a loss going on.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's great. And then for your ACOS, what I'm seeing right here that you're at 32.5 ACOS for the month of December. Is that usually like where you like to see your ACOS, or where do you prefer to see your ACOS at?
Well, ideally, I would prefer 20.
Okay.
Yeah, 20% ideally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. That's great. Yeah. So, I mean, working with our ad team, that would be one of our goals, is to bring down that ACOS if that is one of your goals. Ways that we bring down ACOS is knocking out keywords that are just a little bit riskier, maybe not as direct as we would like them to be. In addition to that, just really focusing on those campaigns that are doing well and showing us just how strong they are. So, now that I've gotten a little bit more information on that, definitely want to talk about some specific campaigns. Now, as far as different campaigns I'm focusing on, one thing I want you to keep in mind is it's not necessarily like the campaign that is, as far as like the campaigns I'm focusing on, I'm really just trying to find really great examples to show you our PPC philosophy, to show you how we operate. So that's basically how I choose the campaigns to focus on. So the first one I want to look at, it'll be really quick, is regarding just the full black glove heat aid one. So I'll share my screen with you. I'm going to find this campaign really quick. Let's see. That's funny. Oh, that's why. That is interesting. The campaign's gone that I wanted to look at. 1 second. Let me look at it really quick. Look at it a different way.
Sure.
You know where it was? It was here. Oh, that's so funny. I put the exact thing in there. Whatever. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me know when you guys can see it. Okay. So let's go ahead and start here. So I saw for this ad group, you were targeting, about 352 keywords, which is quite a bit of keywords. So one thing like we would definitely be doing working with you is we would want to scale back on the number of keywords there. So just something to consider. Now, one thing I'm seeing right here is this campaign does have a pretty strong ACOS at about 24.79%, which is great. That's close to what you want to do. And now the reason why I'm bringing up this campaign is I wanted to look at a few examples of just keywords that our team necessarily wouldn't want involved with a campaign and kind of explain why. So one really great example is camping gloves. We would want to stay away from that keyword. The reason why is our philosophy truly is to go after low risk keywords that are going to drive people to our product, and it's no question they are looking for our product, right? So that's one really great example I can come up with is, just camping gloves. We would want to stay away from that. I can see that it's paused, which is great, but we would want to stay away from that. Let's go ahead and go back here to the other ad groups. Let's see here. So as far as like your keyword research goes, can you tell me a little bit about how you conduct keyword research, what keywords you're looking for when you do that?
The way I do it, basically, right from the beginning of it, before I look, obviously I just look at the competitors and just do reverse icing and see what keywords are selling for competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And mainly through the PPC campaign, obviously, I just check which keywords are selling on the broad
Okay.
Broad PPC keywords, and from there I move it to phrase and exact. Maybe
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so when it comes to keyword research, what will happen when you join us with PPC, we will conduct full keyword research. And what we're going to really do is we're going to look for new audiences to target by expanding our keyword research and really look for those low-risk manual campaigns that will really drive a strong ACOS, which will also help bring it down to 20%, right? So what we're going to try to do is knock out keywords like this. So we have kitchen, set, holder, pot, camping, fireplace, lights, kitchen gloves. Those are keywords we would not want to go after. I can see you have them paused, which is great. That's the direction we would head in as well. But we essentially want to eliminate any keywords like this that are just too broad and really kind of, might not give us the most direct sales, right? I know you mentioned also that you move keywords from broad phrase to exact. So one thing I do want to cover is that our team does not use phrase. The reason why we don't use phrase is broad and exact cover our bases with broad and exact. Obviously what phrase essentially is it's a combination of broad and exact because you have to have those exact words together. But, obviously you know how it works. It has to be red apple slicer or apple slicer for large apples, right? So apple slicer has to stay together, which makes it kind of that combination between broad and exact. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yeah.
So the reason why we do that, honestly, is we want to eliminate having like too many keywords, right? So I would definitely say this one right here only has 22, but I saw that you had a few that had 325 targets, things like that. We want to try to avoid that. And the reason why we try to avoid that, quite honestly, is to avoid any confusion within the campaigns. We also just want to make sure they're as organized as possible. We try to organize our campaigns in multiple ways, and honestly, our PPC expert will work directly with you on just what that looks like. But essentially what we like to do is we want to organize the campaigns in a few ways. So we either want to have consistency across keywords. So one really great example would be, I saw you do barbecue mitts and oven glove mitts. So if we wanted to go that direction, essentially what we would do is we would create ad groups that are centered around a specific group of keywords. So one really great example would be barbecue mitts. So every single keyword that is in the barbecue mitts ad group would have barbecue mitts in some form or fashion as a keyword. So, red barbecue mitts, large barbecue mitts, keywords like that, that's what we would be looking for. As far as like keyword research goes, that is honestly where I feel it would be really big focus for us. Let me go ahead and pull another example up for you really quick here. Do you have any questions on just anything I've covered so far?
No questions. Okay.
Now, how often are you optimizing these ads?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks? Okay. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and share my screen again. So again, this kind of the same idea with this one. So we have almost 1,000 total targets. In our opinion, that puts us at risk at just letting little things slip through the cracks, things like that. So we like to limit that. So that is one thing we would do is most likely just go through these campaigns, really evaluate the keyword decision, keyword choice, right? So I'll go ahead and go in here real quick. So again, just a few examples right here. So we have snow blowers, smoker gloves, long tongs for grilling. I can definitely understand the direction you were going with for the tongs because it is, it is similar, right, to what the product is, but we still just wouldn't necessarily want to ever go after that. It's just too broad, a little too risky, right? That's kind of the direction we would want to go in, is just a little less risky, more direct towards the product to where they're searching this product, no question, they're looking for my product is what we're looking for.
Okay.
So that's one of our biggest things, just philosophy-wise, is keyword choice. And then, like I said, our team wants to organize the campaigns to a point where it's super clear what we're going after. And the reason why we want to do that is it will become very clear to us, okay, so our product does better when people are looking at oven mitt terms versus barbecue mitt terms. things like that. That's really what we're looking for, is almost those keyword clusters, really what makes sense and what is triggering our campaigns. Now, I mean, a couple of other things I definitely want to bring up. So again, I brought up the phrasing thing, how we don't do that. And it's really just to stay organized. In our opinion, broad and exact is all we need. Now, as far as when do we use those? So we start every single keyword off with broad, and then we work our way to exact. If the keyword is doing well, that is when we will transfer it over and make it an exact keyword. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. And so I know you mentioned that you do the keyword harvesting, where you essentially look to see what keywords trigger, and that's how you do your keyword research. We do that as well, which is addition to the keyword research we already conduct when we first start an account. That keyword research that we conduct when we first start an account is really just meant to look for new keywords, look for new opportunities, look for new audiences that really will do a great job just portraying this product, right? That's our number one goal. So I just wanted to give some examples of keywords we would go after. So barbecue gloves, barbecue oven mitt, barbecue mitts for men, barbecue grill gloves, grilling gloves, grill gloves, etc. That's really the direct targets we'd want to go after. Now, I also heard you mention when you were talking about just your PPC goals, you really were looking at brand expansion. You were talking about competitors, things like that. So we would have a complete process built for you for that. So we would obviously build out those low-risk manual campaigns, which is what I've been talking about majority of the call, talking about those keywords, different things like that, different aspects. But in addition to that, we would have automatic campaigns. And the reason why we like automatic campaigns is because we want to find new keywords. So obviously that gives Amazon an opportunity to find new keywords for us. And then, in addition to that, we also will build out branded campaigns. Now, branded campaigns are essentially campaigns where we will target, just the different branded terms that are direct towards your product. So we'll use your brand name, different things like that. And the reason why we do that is for a few reasons, right? So, branded terms are awesome in terms of just getting a great return on the ACOS. You're going to really see just, a better ACOS overall with branded terms, because obviously they're searching for you, they're looking for your brand directly. And then, going away from that, we want to do competitor terms. So just different competitors in your space. The reason why we want to do that is we want to try to purchase different spaces from them. Now, you'll notice I said we would want to create different campaigns for that, branded and competitor. The reason why is competitor will run a higher ACOS just because, they are looking for a different brand directly. So you will see a higher ACOS, which is why we want to have those separate so that we can keep a closer eye on the actual ACOS.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, I know I just rambled a ton, but did you have any questions on what I just covered or and then, even away from that, anything I didn't cover, like, do you have specific PPC questions that I can help with? Anything you need me to clear up about our PPC service? Anything like that?
No, I think it's pretty clear.
Amazing. Awesome. So, obviously I know your big focus was on PPC. That is all I have for you on PPC, and we will be sending that in the recap. But now what I'm going to do is hand you over to Chantel. She is going to go into the account audit here, talking just about what we can be doing to your listing to make it better, as well as your just promotional and review planning. So Chantel, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep, very clearly.
All right, cool. So just going over the listing that you had put down for us with the gloves, mitts. Let me see if I can pull it up here just so we can all look together. I'll share my screen with you guys. All right, can you guys see the listing?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So just really wanted to dive in and talk a little bit about your title on this. Just kind of get your insight on, how you decided to build out this title, what you think of it, thoughts, anything like that from you first.
Yeah, sure. Well, I don't like the title because Amazon literally forced me to have this title.
Really?
Before it was a really nice, beautiful title, and they keep on chopping and changing. I don't know, they just do it by themselves,
Yeah.
and this, I think this is a new title I've seen for the past 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
They chopped it even more, so this is the shortest it's ever been now. So they just keep changing it. So I really don't know what to say. So I literally gave up on chasing them all the time.
Right.
So really, the title literally doesn't. It's not really my title at all.
That's crazy that has happened to you. I did notice, I think you have another listing with, is it maybe like longer sleeves?
Yeah, longer, yeah.
Okay, because I noticed that you did had a really like nice filled out title for that one.
That one they don't change, but this one they seem to change it. I don't know why every time. It's like they're doing it. It's as if they're doing an experiment on it themselves.
Right. Yeah. And this is like the top seller for you?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And I can't change it manually because it's locked, and I literally have to request for it to change.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh, that's horrible. It's funny because I think when I was clicking on, is this because when it comes up, it was that title? Did you see how this changed as soon as I went to this one?
Yeah.
Here. So I don't know, is it something with just that one, Yeah.
What is the reasoning Amazon's giving you when they say you can't that you can't
have control of it?
Have control over it. Is it because you're not brand registered? Is there a brand registry issue? What is the reasoning they're giving you?
Because I think originally, a few years back, I enrolled for, I can't even remember what's it called now. I enrolled for something where they can't directly change it anymore. So you have to go to another department, and for them it takes ages to respond as well.
Right.
I can't remember what it was. It was before when the PPC, when the AMS, I think it was called AMS at the time. When there was so it was a different it's like the sponsored brand where you have to do it in a different platform.
Right.
So it was on that platform when I enrolled for that platform, and then I lost control of the listing since then.
Huh.
So I'm talking about 3-4 years ago when.
Right.
Yeah. So ever since then, it's just lost control of it.
So Amazon is writing your title.
Yeah, literally there.
Wow, I have actually never heard of them writing a title. I've heard of them they'll switch it back to what you originally put up there whenever you put the product on Amazon, whether that was 10 years ago or whatever, right? I've heard of them doing that, but I've never heard of them just writing copy. That is really strange.
Yeah, on that one, because in the back end it's completely different than what is shown on the live page.
And you are a brand owner, correct? Because you have the Plus content. Okay. And do you have access to your brand dashboard?
At the moment, it's not. They say it's going to take about 10-15 days. It just disappeared. So I requested them, and they say it will take them 10-15 days to sort it out. So
okay.
Just waiting for that to be sorted.
Yeah. Chantal, you and I should chat with Chris about that.
Yeah.
Just because that's a little strange. We'll talk to our logistics expert. He deals with all that drama with brand registry and things like that. We'll mention to him that Amazon just went and wrote something that's super weird. And then we'll let you know. It might not be on the recap. It might be a little bit later, but we'll let you know if he has any insights that could potentially help you with that.
Yeah, sure. But then everything else I can change, the bullet points, the description, images.
Just not the title.
It's the title.
Oh my goodness.
They really don't want to change the title for some reason.
That's crazy. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We'll check into that and let you know what we can find or help out with. So, as far as the title goes, I'm sure you know, as it sounds like you're on the same page. We just like to, use the character limit because that's your chance to really, grab that customer right off the bat when they're looking for the product. So I just noticed going through your listings and all the competitors' listings, just using those top features. Like I do see you have a lot more, obviously, in this one and the other ones, but I would just suggest taking out, I mean, I know maybe not as of right now, but the dashes, those could be against terms of service. And some people do get, suspended for that type of thing. Just because they're considered symbols. I know it sounds like right now you probably can't, but I don't know if you knew about that or not. So just wanted to bring that up. And then it gives you some more, without so many spaces in between things, possibly fitting in some different keywords. But just some things that I saw was, indoor and outdoor use, flexible, food grade, kitchen oven gloves, multi-purpose, fireproof. I know you have the heat resistant. That's awesome. I think that's a good thing to keep on there because you can use them up to 932 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Is that
yes?
What that means. And then just really using your character count there. So just going through, so this is just another, I don't know if that's what you wanted on this or not, but...
This one, they shortened it.
Okay. So they just start taking out words? Like, do you notice what they're doing?
Just take out words and shorten it.
Gosh, that's not nice. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. That's horrible. We definitely, I hope that they're leaving your top keywords in there if they're, at least going to leave those in there for you. Just because we recommend, putting the highest ranking keywords in that title.
I do have one quick question before I forget. So it sounds like Amazon's doing this quite often. They're changing your title, everything like that. Are you monitoring your listings every day? Like, do you do a health check every day to see if the title changed, or are you using a software that will say, hey, your title changed or anything like that?
I used to use a software, but that stopped working. So I just manually check every day and see another title change and see. I don't see any sales affected by it, which is strange. So I thought it would be affected, but especially the latest title, that one's the worst I've seen. So past 2 weeks, and I still haven't seen any effect. So it's a bit weird that keyword ranking isn't getting affected or anything. I'm not sure.
It is a little weird. I wonder. I think the reason why the softwares wouldn't respond is if it's correct in the back end, but then the listing changes. I think that the softwares are monitoring the back end. That's why. Okay, I just thought I'd throw that out there because I know checking manually isn't the most fun thing ever. But and then when you see that, what do you do? Do you create a support ticket with Amazon? Do you just try to press save in the back end? What are your actions when that happens?
Yeah, well, I stopped chasing it. But once I did it to them and they put the listing down for them to examine it, I'm like, what? I thought I can't be having that down.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's just good information for us to take to Chris Chantel. So, okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead. I wanted to ask that.
No worries. No. So basically that's kind of what we just recommend for, all that type of stuff for the title, just making sure it's still readable. Did you have any questions for us regarding that? I know besides our issue with not being able to change anything and it just disappearing. Anything else?
No, apart from I like to have a keyword rich title with benefit driven.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Okay. Well, moving into the images, I love that you guys have so many different options and colors here. It's very cool. I think this was that one that has the loveliest title here. But how do you go about, choosing what images you put on your image block?
Sorry, say that again. Your voice broke up.
Oh, sorry. So talking about the image block here, how do you go about deciding what you feel is the right images to put there?
Well, originally, when I was doing the main images, I'm trying to think. I used what's that called from Simply the split testing tool. I forgot the name of it. Splitly, that's it. I use Splitly. Also, would sometimes to see the results, I should analyze the PPC results, the click-through rate, to make decisions on the images.
Okay.
Those are my two favorite ways of doing it: Splitly and PPC.
Totally. Okay, that's awesome that you've been doing Splitly for that. So I definitely see you had some holiday images up, and then lifestyle image, and then you had a couple infographics here, right, which is good. Another, example of how someone would be using, and the video. We definitely love having a video in there, so that is awesome. Do you have like a designer that you work with for images, or how does that look for you when you try to create anything new?
And I just approach them a different designer, different photographer when I want to change it up.
Right. Okay. So we definitely like to have the lifestyle images, showing the product in action. I went through and found some images that I thought maybe you would like, and just to, have different options and ideas. Let's see, I think we're here. Now these aren't exactly, like your type of gloves that we're talking about here, but just like very clear, concise, with a very clear right here with the text, box. Possibly something that I think that you could benefit from too is putting that heat resistant thing, the Fahrenheit, I don't know what you maximum, heat, right there, just because it's super easy when someone's looking at just the images. Some people don't actually read through their listing. Like they just want to see it, just like hand it to them, like basically show them, give it to them right in their face that they can't miss it. So I really like this one just because it's very basic. It shows the inside of the glove, as well as the outside. And then it's just very like easy to read, clean. Yeah. Another thing, I don't know if you have ever done anything like this, but I like this. Now this one is different right here, but obviously yours would be custom to your product, but I definitely did see that like some customer complaints in some listings were about, they're questioning the heat resistance. Now, I don't personally know how someone knows if it's reached that temperature, like on their hand. I'm not like sticking my hand in fires and knowing if it's at 662, and apparently these customers must know that, but maybe this could like be a great way to create something like this to help battle like that common customer complaint. And then they can see, again, that it's heat resistant up to.
Yeah, because this the funny thing is this actual heat resistant table. I was actually one of the first one to have the table, and actually first one to have the 932 on the market as well.
Oh, okay.
And because I did lots of testings to get it to 932.
Okay.
But the 1472, all these new sellers try a bit playing fibbing right now. So it's a bit dangerous game they're playing. So literally, so all the ones who are like this, all the people are saying 1472 is actually not true.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't want to play that kind of game. So they're all trying to.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I'm trying to stay away from that. And
so it looks like they must have added like that whole block right here, just trying to.
Because they were originally 932. But now they just obviously looking at competitors saying 1472. So
yeah. Oh wow.
A bit of a cheat going on right now. It's past 9 months it's been happening now.
Oh no! I did think I read something that in someone's that 932 is the max you can even go to. Do you know? Is that true? I mean, I don't even know if you can go up to 1472.
Yeah, 1472 you can't go up to that. 932 you can. We tested that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
But
that's when we started with before it used to be 662. Everyone was in 662, including me. And then my factory tested 932 and it passed. And then we decided 932. And then everyone else started jumping and doing 932. But I'm sure they didn't test it; they just jumped on it.
Right.
And then some newsletters came in and 4072 now they're trying to. But that's unrealistic now.
Wow.
That is really interesting.
That's amazing. Yeah. And people probably just buy it, not even knowing that, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. The same with the black, the color range of gloves. I was the first one. No one else was doing that. Everyone was just doing the simple white and blue.
Oh.
And again,
you're the original.
Yeah, so the original. Yeah, so basically, when I move left, everyone moves left. When I move right, everyone moves right.
Right. Oh, see, you could totally use that. You're the original.
Yeah.
The original glove master. That's amazing. Wow. Very interesting about that. So yeah, I just kind of thought that was, a nice thing to add in. And then also with maybe something like this, just simply showing, how easy it is to wash your product. Is yours dishwasher and washing machine safe too?
Yeah, it is. Now, when you say dishwasher, I'm not sure, but in the UK, when we say dishwasher, that's like washing the plates in the dishwasher machine. We call it.
Yes.
In American, what do you call dishwasher? I'm not sure, because is there a sink?
Well, dishwasher to me, is like the machine where you stick your dishes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I find that.
This is always, that's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, the washing machine you can, but in the dishwasher, I found that a bit strange putting gloves in the dishwasher with the plates.
Right.
Washing machine is no problem.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting points brought up with these images. I love it. But yeah, I mean, I think just, showing the product more in action, showing your customer. Is there a certain type of customer that you found is buying your gloves?
I mean, it's the typical barbecue grillers. They love grilling, and usually you get the mums at home who like baking.
Perfect. I love it.
A bit of a mix in that sense. But most, I would say 70% is their grillers, barbecue grillers, and the 30% is probably the baking. Okay, so that's a pretty cool mix. You could definitely, throw in maybe images of. It looks like you've got a woman here. Using, the gloves too, so that's really good. We just definitely, like to show that it's for both genders can use it, and just, it's an easy way to target them, because if they see a picture of them, someone that they can relate to, they definitely are probably more apt to buy your product, right? And then just providing those infographics that explain the product better and maybe solve those, pain points for the customers. What does it do? Talk about those features, maybe zoom into the glove and, use an infographic that points out all the little details of it. We like to do that as well. So do you have any questions for us about images, image block, any of that? No question, but yeah, I like the way you spotted it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So those are definitely, title and the image block, is very important, right? So
yeah, but I mean that's the key. I mean, everyone eat with their eyes first, then it says images. So
yeah, exactly.
And then the next is the title, I guess.
Totally. Another thing that, let's see, and now I know you had an A+ content on here.
The main gloves.
This one? Oh my gosh, this is funny.
The one that showed the fire picture.
Where'd it go? Oh, this one here, maybe.
Yeah, that's the one.
Sorry, I think my computer is like, okay. There we go. Here you are. Good. Perfect. So just wanted to talk a little bit about your A+ content. How do you design it? Like, what are your thought process? You know, what's your...
Well, since I've seen loads of other competitors and other type of different listings, it's way better than mine. Because mine's like the old school one when I first came out, and I just put it on. And I haven't changed it since. So yeah, I've seen that hell of a lot of improvements. I even seen like GIF images. Yeah, so yeah, that's got great potential to improve on that. Definitely.
Right. It's always something you can keep going with, right? Yeah. So I definitely love that at least you're taking advantage of having an A+ content, just because you can, have a lot of back-end keywords behind the images, and make sure those are always filled out. But just adding more, info to this and really just trying to connect with your customer, obviously. So I like that you have, a logo up here with the product. We like to have, a high quality, engaging logo. And then, have different modules. So you probably have seen some of them now. I think I pulled up a couple just so that we could walk through some. Have you seen this competitor before? You probably have.
Yeah.
I don't know how you Vivos. But they just had some really interesting, lots of imagery, right? But still have down here the option of adding in the captions and all of that. Just showing it, easy to clean, you've got the lifestyle images, all of that. Using strong taglines as well. You could get really creative with things that you're writing, right? So, just why are they going to be buying this? Use with confidence, or you could do testimonials even, where you could put what our customers say, and then start, writing out how great your gloves are and what people have said about them. Just, design for top performance, all that kinds of stuff. Let's see, let me go back here. Better, I would put better safe than sorry, or something else. I was also, your hands are safe with us, or I like this type of thing here. And just talking about, more of your brand, and maybe that you could even add in things that you were one of the, original OG glove, companies and brands. I mean, something like that, definitely would like that. I like all these, how you have this on each image. And then something that we really like to take advantage of is also have you seen the cross-selling module in the A+ content? Basically what it is you can add links into other products of yours right down here, or wherever actually in the listing that you want to put it. Have you seen that at all?
No, I haven't actually, no.
So it's really cool. It's right in the A+ content builder. So you just choose that module, and you could link, say, your longer gloves. You could link anything. I mean, if you've got a book, you could link a book if you wanted. I know that's not part and doesn't really go, but I mean, just telling you, you can link whatever you want. And then, because, I just like to tell everybody that get it out there in front of the customer, even more what you have to offer, right? Because they may like these, and then they may see your other gloves and be like, oh, they actually have a longer one too. Maybe I need to buy both, really just maybe try using that and see how it works out for you, because we're seeing a lot of people use that and have some increase in sales. So, I mean, do you have any questions so far on that?
No.
So they're not changing like that part of your listing, right? I mean, it's just the title.
Yes, the title, yeah. Yes, the title.
Okay. All right. Well, definitely, I know they're always adding more things to Amazon, so you can constantly be changing up everything and adjusting and, all kinds of pretty cool stuff that they've been adding. So I would definitely take advantage of that cross-selling module. Just so you can, do the comparison of products, and it links directly to your other listings. So I would recommend that. Okay. So as far as the listing itself, I also had some stuff for bullet points that we're going to just send over to you, just so you can read through and, decide if that's things that you would like to change or whatnot. Do you have any questions regarding the listing aspect of things?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So going into a little bit real quick here about your just areas of opportunity for, growth and review strategies. I think you run some coupons every now and then, Amazon coupons.
Yeah.
Do you? I'm sorry?
Yeah, the coupon clipping, right?
Yeah. Do you test out doing percentage off versus dollar off, or how does that work for you? Have you noticed a difference if you use percentage off versus the dollar amount?
Yeah, I tested the percentage and dollars. I think that the dollar sign seemed to work better than the percentage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, we definitely see that too. So that's awesome that you've, noticed that and discovered that. And definitely, I think, I don't know if you've ever tried tiered promo codes, and then, adding into maybe something in the image block with, the tiered promo codes, like what's happening, you could set it for a certain amount of time. And yeah, also, go ahead.
I never tried the tiered showing on the actual image, but I did tiered on the actual below the listing where they have the option. So I tried that. That didn't really, people didn't really pick up on that.
Right.
Currently, I'm testing currently I'm priced at $35.11. Currently, I'm testing because usually all year round I price at $29.11, and over the Christmas period, the last 3 weeks of Christmas, I put the price up $35.11, and it's still selling strong. So this time I'm just testing right now for the past week or so, or 2 weeks since. But instead of putting the price down to $29.11, my usual price, I decided to put $6 coupon.
Okay.
And testing it how it's going at the moment. It seems to be going pretty much. Yeah, it's going well actually. It's going similar to as if I'm selling at $29.11.
Oh wow!
So it's staying pretty steady. Just that the bonus is half the people only use the coupon, the other half forget to use it. So it's kind of good in that sense.
Yeah, totally.
So just see how it goes. So far, it's holding up. So for the past 2 weeks, let's see. On that.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're testing that out and seeing what works for you. So that's great. I know we're like almost out of time. I know I have some additional information on other things like Amazon Prime exclusive deals and outlet deals. I don't know if you've ever looked into those, but we can send you all that information just so you can look through it. Have you ever gotten a chance to check into that?
When you say Amazon Prime, what one is that? Was that when they're having that Prime coupon? Is that?
Yeah, it's the Prime exclusive deals just for Prime members, which basically everyone's Prime members, but it's just nice to have that exclusive, people sometimes like that they feel like it's a special deal just for them. I don't know if you've ever gotten a chance to try that out or any outlet deals, but
I haven't done any outlets, but the prime one I did last summer on the prime time. It went really well. Like a really big spike.
Oh, good. Awesome.
A huge spike on that.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Well, we can send you all of our stuff that we have for you for that, and anything else that we have. You know, we got a ton of research and all kinds of stuff for you, so we can send you over that with the recap. And then we will also be getting back to you about, you know, the issue when we talk to our logistics expert. So might not be in the recap, as Jenna said, but it might come a little bit later, just so you know. But yeah, I know we have like a minute left. Is there any other questions really quickly that you wanted to go over? Or Jenna, you have anything that you wanted to say?
I'm definitely good, but you know, definitely open to questions.
No, I'm good. Yeah, good infos.
All right.
Awesome. Very cool. So we'll go ahead and put that recap together. We'll be sending that over to you tomorrow. I'll also connect you with Jamie, and you guys can go ahead and talk about next steps. That sound good?
Okay, yeah, sounds good to me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was nice meeting you, and hopefully we will chat soon.
Yeah, nice meeting you too as well, and both of you.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you.
Soon.
Amazing. Bye, guys.
Bye.